म्यूजियम को आपके साथ जाकर के अपने श्रद्धा सुमन अर्पित कर रहा था तो मेरा मन भर आया था, दिल को गहरी चोट पहुंची थी। और मुझे लगता है कि युद्ध की सबसे पहली कैजुअलिटी किसकी होती है तो निर्दोष बालकों की होती है, और वो बहुत दर्दनाक होता है। किसी भी सुसंस्कृत समाज में जो मानवीय मूल्यों में विश्वास करते हैं उनके लिए है, और जो एक संवेदनशील व्यक्ति होते हैं उनके लिए है। इस प्रकार की घटनाएं कतई स्वीकार नहीं हो सकती है। दुनिया में मानवीय मूल्यों में विश्वास करने वाला कोई भी व्यक्ति इसको स्वीकार नहीं कर सकता है। एथेंस इस दर्दनाक परिस्थितियों के बीच भी आपने जिस गर्मजोश से मेरा और मेरे डेलीगेशन का स्वागत किया, इसके लिए मैं हृदय से आपका आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। एक्सेलेंसी, आज का दिवस भारत और यूक्रेन के संबंधों के लिए एक बहुत ही ऐतिहासिक दिवस है, क्योंकि भारत का प्रधानमंत्री आज पहली बार यूक्रेन की धरती पर आ रहा है। यह अपने आप में एक ऐतिहासिक घटना है। कल आपका नेशनल डे है। ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण दिवस है। मेरी तरफ से 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की तरफ से मैं आपके नेशनल डे अनेक अनेक शुभकामनाएं देता हूं, और मैं कामना करता हूं शांति के लिए, सुख और समृद्धि के लिए। एक्सेलेंसी, 2021 में ग्लासगो में मिले थे और पहली ही मुलाकात में एक गहरी मित्रता का अनुभव कर रहे थे, और तब आपने मुझे यूक्रेन आने के लिए बहुत ही आग्रह से निमंत्रण दिया था। लेकिन मैं कल्पना नहीं कर सकता हूं कि मुझे ऐसी परिस्थिति में यूक्रेन आने की नौबत आएगी। एक्सेलेंसी, हमारे द्विपक्षीय संबंधों में ऐसी विपरीत कालखंड में भी प्रगति हो रही है, और मैं कह सकता हूं कि ऐसे तनावपूर्ण वातावरण में ये प्रगति हम दोनों देशों की मैच्योरिटी को प्रतिबिंबित करती है। एक्सेलेंसी, मैं आज बड़े आदरपूर्वक मेरी उस भावना को व्यक्त करना चाहता हूं कि जब युद्ध के प्रारंभिक दिन थे, भारत के हजारों बच्चे जो यहां शिक्षा के लिए आए थे, पढ़ने के लिए आए थे, वो उस युद्ध के कारण फंसे हुए थे। उनको बाहर निकालने में आपने जो मदद की और जिस संवेदनशीलता के साथ हमारी चिंताओं को आपने समझा और सुलझाने के लिए भरसक प्रयास किया, इसके लिए मेरी तरफ से, मेरे देश के 140 करोड़ नागरिकों की तरफ से, और उस संकट की घड़ी से निकल करके आए हुए उन बच्चों के, उनके परिवारजनों की तरफ से आपका आज मैं हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। एक्सेलेंसी, आप भी भली बात जानते हैं और पूरा विश्व भी जानता है कि युद्ध के समय हमने 2 प्रकार की भूमिकाओं का रास्ता अपनाया, और उस भूमिका को निभाने का हमने भरपूर प्रयास किया है। हमारी पहली भूमिका रही है मानवीय दृष्टिकोण की। ऐसे संकट की घड़ी में बहुत सारी रिक्वायरमेंट रहती है, जिन रिक्वायरमेंट को पूरा करने के लिए भारत ने हो सका उतना एक मानवीय दृष्टिकोण को केंद्र में रखते हुए पूरा करने का प्रयास किया है। और मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूं कि मानवीय दृष्टिकोण से भी जिस प्रकार की मदद की आवश्यकता होगी, भारत हमेशा हमेशा आपके साथ खड़ा रहेगा और 2 कदम आगे चलेगा। एक्सेलेंसी, हमने जो दूसरा मार्ग चुना, वो दूसरा मार्ग है युद्ध से दूर रहने का। हम बहुत ही कन्विक्शन के साथ युद्ध से दूर रहे हैं, लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि हम तटस्थ थे, हम न्यूट्रल नहीं थे। हम पहले दिन से ही पक्षकार रहे हैं और हमारा पक्ष है शांति का। हम बुद्ध की धरती से आते हैं, जहां युद्ध को कोई स्थान नहीं होता है। हम महात्मा गांधी की धरती से आते हैं, जिसने पूरे विश्व को शांति का संदेश दिया है। एक्सेलेंसी, मैं आज जब यूक्रेन आया हूं, तब मैं 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की भावना को लेकर के आया हूं। और 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की भावना मानवता से प्रेरित है। और मैं आज यूक्रेन की धरती पर शांति का संदेश लेकर के आया। एक्सेलेंसी, यहां से पहले मैंने ग्लोबल साउथ की एक कॉन्फ्रेंस की, करीब 120 देश के लोग थे। मैं उनकी तरफ से भी शांति का संदेश लेकर के आया। एक्सेलेंसी, आप भली भांति जानते हैं, यूक्रेन के लोग भी भली भांति जानते हैं कि शांति के हर प्रयास में भारत का सक्रिय योगदान रहा है। और आप भली भांति जानते हैं कि हमारा अप्रोच पीपल सेंट्रिक रहा है। और मैं आपको भी और पूरे विश्व समुदाय को विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं, और वो भारत का कमिटमेंट है। और हम स्पष्ट मानते हैं कि संप्रभुता और क्षेत्रीय अखंडता का सम्मान हमारे लिए सर्वोपरि है। हम उसका समर्थन करते हैं। कुछ समय पहले समर्थन में जब राष्ट्रपति पुतिन से मिला, तब मीडिया के सामने आंख से आंख मिला करके मैंने उनको कहा था कि ये युद्ध का समय नहीं है। मैं पिछले दिनों रशिया के मुलाकात के लिए गया था। वहां भी मैंने साफ साफ शब्दों में अपनी बात कही है कि किसी भी समस्या का समाधान रणभूमि में कभी भी नहीं होता है। समाधान का रास्ता बातचीत से ही निकलता है, डायलॉग से निकलता है, डिप्लोमेसी से निकलता है। और हमने बिना समय गंवाए उस दिशा में आगे बढ़ना चाहिए। दोनों पक्षों को साथ बैठ करके इस संकट की घड़ी से बाहर निकलने के रास्ते तलाशने होंगे। एक्सेलेंसी, आज हम जब रूबरू मिल रहे हैं, तब मैं यूक्रेन की धरती पर, और आप जब मैं बच्चों की शहादत को, उस जगह को देखकर आया और मेरा मन भरा हुआ है, तब मैं आज आपसे शांति की ओर आगे बढ़ने के मार्ग पर विशेष रूप से चर्चा करना चाहूंगा। एक्सेलेंसी, मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं कि शांति के हर प्रयास में भारत अपनी सक्रिय भूमिका निभाने के लिए तैयार है। व्यक्तिगत रूप से मैं भी अगर इसमें कोई योगदान कर सकता हूं, तो मैं जरूर करना चाहूंगा। एक मित्र के रूप में मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूं। एक्सेलेंसी, मैं आज जब आया हूं और नेशनल डे है, मैं चाहूंगा कि हम सब जल्दी से जल्दी शांति के सूरज को उगता हुआ देखें। मेरी तरफ से शांति के हर प्रयास में सक्रिय योगदान की भूमिका के साथ आपके स्वागत सत्कार के लिए मैं हृदय से आपका बहुत बहुत।
और जब That's the Prime Minister speaking in his statement next to Ukrainian President Zelensky. The Indian Prime Minister reassuring Ukraine one more time that they are willing to do anything that is needed, both at a personal and as a country level, to solve the problem, to solve the war in Ukraine and to bring peace to Ukraine. Let me go across to my colleague Siddhant, also joining us. Siddhant, interesting message from the Prime Minister. Of course, he has reiterated that there has to be dialogue and diplomacy for the peace solution, and India is willing to do whatever it takes. He said, even as a friend, personally, if I can do anything, I'm willing to do it. But he also said in a very strong message that anybody who stands for human values cannot agree and cannot stand for what has happened in Ukraine.
Well, absolutely. Look, Prime Minister has reiterated India's stand. In fact, from day one, India's stand was very clear as far as this conflict is concerned. Prime Minister told President Putin in Samarkand, this is not an era of war. When in the month of July he went to Moscow, he told President Putin that solution cannot be found on the battlefield and should be found through dialogue and diplomacy. Same thing Prime Minister has reiterated in Ukraine. In fact, Prime Minister said that when I was in Russia, I said there that clearly that no solution can be found on the battlefield. Prime Minister also said that we come from land of Buddha and Gandhi who stand for peace. And he said that I have come with message of peace from all Indians. Prime Minister did mention about the territorial integrity, which is most important. Perhaps this statement by Prime Minister is in favor of Ukraine, as Prime Minister Modi is saying that territorial integrity is more important. So, Indian Prime Minister talking about territorial integrity perhaps is going in favor of Ukraine. Otherwise, any which ways, India's position on conflict was very, very clear. India's stance is neutral, and Prime Minister has offered himself to contribute in the early resolution so that peace can prevail. Back to you.
Right. Siddhant, thanks a lot for joining us. Moving on to the big story that we've been tracking all of this week. In the RG Kar case, prime accused Sanjay Roy has been sent to 14-day judicial custody, even as CBI prepares to conduct lie detector tests on main accused, the ex-principal and other key witnesses. Meanwhile, High Court has asked the State Police SIT to transfer their parallel investigation into the former principal Sandeep Ghosh to the CBI too, as multiple probes can create inefficiencies. Remember, RG Kar students have exposed the racket, quote-unquote, that the former principal ran in this hospital. They've revealed how they were forced to pay money for all kinds of things and how that eventually was linked to the TMC because he was politically by the and the so if a student refused to comply with diktats of Ghosh and his TMC Kotli, they would be made to pay in other ways, including being failed in their exams. In all of this, the link between Ghosh and Mamata Banerjee and that the murder could be part of a bigger conspiracy. There's also a sense that actually Sandeep Ghosh and even the accused caught Sanjay Roy could be mere small fish. On the legislation, the BJP says that this is just crocodile tears. In the meantime, all eyes are on the CBI probe as the agency collects more evidence and even conducts these polygraph tests on those who met and were seen with the truth. Because remember, they've already lamented the fact that a lot of things were altered at the crime scene by the time they took up the probe. We'll take that big question to our guests in just a bit. First up, let's decode why the CBI is conducting the polygraph test. As per exclusive information accessed by CNN News 18, polygraph tests are being conducted on two first-year PGT doctors whose fingerprints were found in the seminar room where the body was found. Tests are also being conducted on the house staff who was caught on CCTV going to the third floor where this seminar hall is situated. Tests is also being conducted on the intern who interacted with the victim before she went to rest in the seminar hall. CBI's motive to corroborate versions of all four persons is amongst those who either interacted with the victim or were near the crime scene on that night. CBI also wants to ascertain if any four of them were linked to the conspiracy to commit the crime. And of course, they want to iron out inconsistencies in the statements of the persons undergoing these polygraph tests. In all of this, the most important detail is the sequence of events. What exactly transpired on that fateful night? Here's what we have picked up via many sources in the agencies. So, at 12 midnight on August 9, the victim and two first-year students had dinner together. Three of them moved to the seminar hall and were present there till about 1:30 to 2 a.m. The victim and two others watched Neeraj Chopra's Olympics javelin final in the seminar hall. The victim then rested in the seminar hall while the other two headed to the room opposite the hall to rest. The two doctors say that they have not interacted with the victim between 2 a.m. and the morning because there wasn't any situation, certainly not an emergency that cropped up for them to do so. The house staff, who's undergoing a polygraph test, went to the third floor that night, conducted a few tests and returned to the emergency ward downstairs somewhere between 3:30 to 3:45 a.m. An intern was present in the room dedicated for interns, which was also on the third floor. All four of them have claimed that since the seminar room has soundproofing, they couldn't hear anything and nothing could come to light till the next morning. So at 9:15 a.m. on August 9 is when one of the first-year doctors looked for the victim in the seminar hall and found her motionless. Remember, we know that the body was found in a semi-nude condition. The PG doctor informed the hospital authorities, who then intimated Kolkata police. Meanwhile, the party in power, TMC, has been facing extreme pressure not just because of the way the government and the state police have handled this issue, but also because of the extreme insensitivity in parts with which the party itself has handled the issue. In fact, in the face of some tough questions on this show, the party concerned, TMC, has been refusing to join debates. Be that as it may, questions will not stop and they cannot stop. What we are also being told is that internally there are fissures in TMC and unease now between Abhishek Banerjee and Mamata Banerjee over the handling of the issue. Already some of their leaders have spoken out and have been sidelined by the party. TMC also said that he is unhappy with the he wants West Bengal government to ensure accountability. So clearly he feels there is no accountability so far. Abhishek has asked the TMC government to ensure security of doctors. He is exerting pressure on the current system, which is, it sounds a little laughable because the current system is the one that he's part of. But he wants a complete overhaul of the system under the TMC government right now. That could be an internal indictment of the system. Abhishek Banerjee has reportedly asked Kolkata Police Commissioner to act without any party affiliation. That may be too late because the probes have been taken away from the Kolkata Police and possibly for the better. The big question we take to our guest joining us is simply this: can the CBI unearth the truth? First up the story and then we go across to our debate.
सीबीआई से क्यों मिलना चाहते हैं?
सीबीआई से हम जो मिला था, इसका जो इंक्वायरी है, जो मेन डिमांड है जस्टिस के बारे में वो जो इंक्वायरी कर रहा है, वो क्या सोच रहा है, इसके बारे में कितना दिन लग सकता है।
कोर्ट की इस डिसीजन का हम स्वागत करते हैं, लेकिन मुझे लगता है और भी इंक्वायरी होनी चाहिए। जो दोषी है सबको गिरफ्तार करना चाहिए।
आम लोगों को रोष, आक्रोश और विरोध प्रदर्शन को देखते हुए बंगाल के मुख्यमंत्री की कुंभकर्ण की नींद टूट रही है।
डॉक्टर्स के मन में एक असुरक्षा का और भय का माहौल है। लोगों के मन में और समाज में जो भय है महिलाओं को लेकर, वो दूर होना चाहिए।
Let's go across to our guest joining us, Shatarupa spokesperson, Bengal BJP, Professor Manuchit Mandal is political analyst, Shashikant is former IPS, Ranjana Kumari, Director, Center for Social Research, and Sanjay Rana, political analyst, all joining us. Ranjana Kumari, why don't I begin with you? You've seen many such cases, grab headlines in Indian history, in Indian media over the years. This is being called a second Nirbhaya moment for India. But I want to begin by asking you, have you been disappointed by the response of the state government and the party in power? Because that's becoming the big issue now. Even as we wait for the CBI to conduct its investigation, it is the political response that has upset many.
Well, don't call it second Nirbhaya. This may be thousandth Nirbhaya,
Sure.
because so many cases are happening every day. And also that, at the time of Nirbhaya, we all protested. We were on India Gate in the chilling winter and demanding justice for her. Till she got justice, we were supporting her parents. And every 16th December, we used to organize. But in this particular case, I think where things have gone really wrong is that, one, that state government was not transparent and open about the facts. So in the age of social media that we all are in, so much of misinformation, deep fakes, so many things happened, including, the doctors were writing about the amount of semen that was found in her body. Now, without any autopsy, without any so there was no basis for the kind of information which was traveling across the country, and everybody was kind of getting carried away. Even my own personal doctor friends were calling me and saying that, look, this is what has happened. Many have raped her. She was, so all her body was smothered. So naturally, everybody was getting more and more angry. So state government did not act in time. There was nothing to hide. And then after reviewing the principle, immediately reinstating what was the reason? Why?
The reason is political patronage. No, Ranjana Kumari.
Absolutely.
We can't escape that. The reason is political patronage.
I totally agree with you, political patronage. But in this kind of a gruesome, horrible, horrendous case, when it happens inside a premises, every person who's working today every woman is feeling unsafe. Why? Because the way the whole incident unfolded, an irresponsible state government, officials, irresponsible state government did not really act in time. Now they are accepting a lot of their mistakes. I was with one of their spokesperson in another program, and he did accept a lot of mistakes that the state government did make. So I think it's important. And also that, when you have a doctor raped, smothered her body, when you have and then cremation is done, even Supreme Court is asking now questions about why so much of time in registering the FIR. Why? I mean, we deal with these cases on almost weekly basis, or you can say monthly basis. We know that to write an FIR is not easy with police wherever you go in the country. Look at what happened in Maharashtra,
in Badlapur. Yes,
yeah, Badlapur. Look after how many days parents could get the FIR registered. So almost a week. So, same thing with every case. You go through all rape cases. Police will not believe the person's statement. Police will shoo away the families, and they try to botch it up somehow or the other.
But Ranjana ji, I'll tell you what, I know that you are not a political voice and you would like to stay out of the politics of this, but we cannot escape the politics of this, and I'm discussing exactly that today because for example, you look at what happened as far as the cremation or the hurried cremation in the Hathras case is concerned. I remember even in the Hathras case, there were a lot of theories floating around that had no verification. Everybody was springing up, some angle every day on social media. That's the beast that the social media is and the nature of it. All of those people who were quiet then or who were enjoying that, that extra attention on that case or were talking about the hurried cremation, they can't escape their political responsibilities now. Why was there a hurried cremation in this case? The parents are wait. The parents are somehow told some suicide theory, which they have come out themselves and talked to us about. And then there was a cremation that was done hurriedly by the police. So obviously there was an attempt to somehow give it a different color and brush this crime under the carpet.
Absolutely. There is no doubt, and that's what state government is paying for at the moment. The whole country mistrusts them. Whole country is against what's going on in West Bengal at the moment. But let me tell you, this political slugfest on women's bodies and raped women, murdered women's bodies is now become a kind of story where it is your rape and my rape.
Yeah.
Rape in my state and rape in your. Do you know what is happening to women in this country? I mean, nobody is willing to come and fix accountability. Nobody. Let me say it with really some sense of responsibility. Nobody is fixing accountability.
Okay.
Nobody is taking responsibility. So in this kind of a situation, what do you expect? I
Okay.
mean, one would have expected much better from a woman chief minister, definitely. There is no doubt about that. But then
Manoj-
what about Maharashtra? What about UP? What about Bihar?
No, absolutely.
You know,
Every
how are
state
those-
is equally accountable. But those who claim that they are better than others, then better have standards that
Yes.
their lofty standards that they can also match. Then, Manojit Mandal, I want to ask you this, and seriously, this is a question on everybody's mind. That did the TMC really think that they could just brush this under the carpet and everything will go away? Your leaders will make obnoxious statements about women in the state, about the women protesters in the state, and just get away with it? Maybe this case is a reminder that you can be high and mighty as Mamta Banerjee, but nobody is mightier than the might of the public.
So there was no question of hushing this up. The state government and the Kolkata police did their job as much as time they could get, barely 36 hours. The case was registered, it was reported to the Supreme Court, one person was nabbed, 34 people were interrogated within 36 hours. You could talk about the transfer of the principal, that could be a wrong move. We all agree with that. But how has that interfered with the investigation? If at all that has interfered with the investigation, then CBI must come out with the truth that the Kolkata police were not wrong. We will go by the statement of the Commissioner of Police on the streets of Calcutta at around 2:30 a.m. on the night of vandalism, when he had this 5-minute press conference and said that no crime scene was destroyed, everything was handed over to the CBI, and he in a kind of challenged the CBI to prove him wrong. So if whatever you are alleging, whatever the common people are alleging, that there was hush up, there was destruction of crime scene, let them prove the commissioner wrong. The CBI
Okay, I have some
investigating
breaking news
already.
coming in. Manojit Mandal, just give me 30 seconds so that I can ask Shatarupa to respond to you. Shatarupa, what is the hush up and what is the proof of that hush up?
You want me to say now?
Yeah, I mean, he's saying there's no hush up. We're all just making it up.
Okay, I thought there was a breaking news coming up.
I'll go to that in just a bit, but please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, no. First and foremost, whatever has been said before or social media, etc., I'm not going into that. But yesterday at the Supreme Court of India, in the courtroom, you will remember that the CBI has said two things. One is addressing the Chief Justice of India, saying that we were given the case on the 5th day. And two, by then, there was absolutely no evidence left, no forensic evidence left, because they did not use the word tamper. They didn't whisper it in my ears. Everybody heard. Whoever was watching it live, everyone heard. CBI saying that it's been damaged. There's absolutely no forensic evidence left. Now, on camera also, we have seen in West Bengal that there was a tearing hurry to break up and renovate some kind of room, probably the bathroom or some room which is opposite the seminar room. And people, especially Trinamool and their spokespersons, were up in arms whenever RG doctors pointed out that you're breaking up something which is bang opposite the so-called the area of crime. Why? Why were we even thinking of this? Because the area of crime was not secured by the Kolkata police. The Kolkata police didn't do anything whatsoever to, you put in a red ribbon saying that do not cross this. This is the scene of the crime. You put in, at least after the dead body is removed, you put in a white chalk mark or whatever to signify that this is the place where the body was there. So don't tamper with that. So what was the tearing hurry?
Okay.
Number one.
No. I'll come back to this. There's of course the delay in registering of the FIR, the rushing up
There are
of the
lot of
cremation,
reasons, Shivani.
the
Lot
parents being told that there is some sort of a suicide that has happened. On top of that, Sanjay Ghosh was rehabilitated very quickly after resigning, and all of that has happened. So if all of that does not point to the fact that somehow the state's intention was कि ठीक है रफा दफा करो, केस को खत्म करो, लोगों को rehabilitate करो, then okay, let the public decide. I want to go across to this breaking update that we're getting right now. The CCTV clincher, which is showing the accused Sanjay Roy. So this is that CCTV footage that we've accessed. This is from the intervening night of August 8 and 9. In fact, these would be moments on August 9 past midnight. Bluetooth headphones can be seen around the neck of the accused. The accused is seen holding the Kolkata police helmet as well. So that's the CCTV footage that we have accessed. Now this is, yes, Shadurappa, just to highlight the fact that this is the only accused that has so far been caught, in the sense that there are other persons of interest who are being questioned, including the principal, of course, and others who have been witnesses or otherwise present in the building on that night. But Sanjay Roy is the only accused of the rape and murder as it stands. Yes, Shadurappa, continue.
Shivani, in addition to all that you have said, I'm just going to make 2-3 more points. One is they tried to pin the arrest on this one person as if, somebody just got out of the room and got hold of this guy and he's the scapegoat. I don't think any attempt was made to verify this. I don't know whether he's accused or not accused. But has there been any attempt by the police and now the CBI? I think CBI is now doing it. Verify that, match the specimens, question him. I don't think anybody did. The police didn't do that. Coming back to the cover-up part, if you notice the comments or no comments made by the 11 MPs, the MLAs and the women ministers of Trinamool, they are going out of their way to either say that, this is not a gang rape. It's got nothing to do with this. Here we have Sanjay Roy as proof, exactly what Manojit Mondal is saying. Another thing, 21 lawyers, including Kapil Sibal, have been employed by Trinamool to defend their case. You tell me, I don't have to say it on national television what the lawyers' fees are. Why? Why would you go out of your way to employ not one, not two, not three, an entire team of 21 lawyers if you don't have anything to cover up?
Okay. Well, I'm not sure if that makes a direct argument, but I'll give 30 seconds to Manojit to respond and I'll go across to our other two guests who haven't spoken.
Let us not spread more lies on the dead body of the victim. Many of the responsible people, they have maligned the dead like anything, including one doctor, one lawyer, who were speaking on their...
Okay, we seem to have lost Manojit Mandal. I want to go across to my colleague Anshul, who's joining us. Anshul has brought us this exclusive CCTV footage. Anshul, tell us more of what else is, the piecing that the CBI and others can do on the basis of the CCTV footage that has been found.
Well, this actually elaborates the entire claim that this person was actually present, and this is the CCTV footage due to which the accused has been nailed in this entire matter. This is the clinching evidence that the Kolkata police was looking for initially, and they found it. And then, if you look at the CCTV graph very, very carefully, there is a neckband, a Bluetooth neckband that can be seen around the neck of the accused. After the incident happened, this neckband actually dropped at this spot, and it is through this neckband yet again the police was able to establish initially that he was the accused who had committed the crime, and hence the arrest happened. And then eventually after the arrest, the accused went on and explained how he and in fact narrated how he committed the entire crime in the night when that in fact what Kolkata police sources are telling us that initially when the interrogation had started, the accused had in fact told them that the victim was sleeping in that room. When he reached over there, he first shut her mouth and then in fact pressed on her neck. Eventually when she fainted, then he committed the entire rape and then murdered her and then went away from the spot. This is just minutes before the incident had happened. So definitely this is one of the clinching evidences due to which this entire case came to the fore. And now this evidence, along with the DNA evidence that the Central Bureau of Investigation has, they will establish this in front of the court that the accused was in fact present when this entire incident had happened, and he was the person who had committed this entire crime.
Okay, all right. Anshul, I do appreciate you joining us. We certainly do hope that a watertight case can be built. Shashikant is former IPS. Mr. Shashikant, do you think a watertight case can still be built despite the delay that has happened and the damage, quote unquote, that has happened in handing over the probe to the agency from the state police to the CBI?
Well, as a former police officer, I can clearly see the massive attempts which were made to hush up the case, whether it is a disposal of the body and everything. And worse than that, then there was the hooligans. They came and created ruckus there. I'm sure that lots of persons wanted to give evidence, but probably they were all got scared. Now I'll say that you Google it. What is about this particular institution? You'll find that earlier also there was some deaths and they were called all suicides. Like in this particular case, unfortunately, again they said there's a suicide. Now that CBI is investigating, and Supreme Court has taken suo motu notice. Suo motu notice is again a big thing. That means there is something which is beyond, which is just being hidden. That's why the courts always take suo motu notice, because they want to expose the entire thing. So I'm sure there's a lot to this story. And this particular man who has been arrested, they say that it was a civic volunteer and he was moving around as a cop, and probably sure he was in touch with some of his seniors or colleagues. And there was a video grab and with some police guys trying to run away from the media.
Yeah.
It all shows that there was nexus, and nexus is there.
Shashikant ji, that's the point. Now that nexus, nobody is saying that nexus goes up to the highest echelons of the government, Manojit. But the problem is that initially when the crime came out, there was an attempt. The state government should be the first one to accept that there was a problem. The more you deny that there was any hush up or botch up, whether it's at the level of the hospital authorities or the ACP's level or the local police, fellows level, the effort was there. Let's accept that.
I'll take that question. Assuming but not admitting that the allegations that you are pressing are true, then it is also incumbent upon the CBI, who have been investigating for the last 11, 12 days, to unearth those nexuses.
They will do so eventually. Their first priority is the crime.
That's what I began. Shivani, that's the simple reason that no formal spokesperson are coming on your show. You are not allowing us to speak.
That's not true at all. This is the third time you're getting an opportunity.
You're interrupting. The fact remains that there have been lot of politics that is going on. Initially, we salute the protesters. 80% of them remain common together. But look now what they are doing. Shubhendu Adhikari is saying that we create a bloodbath. There'll be gunshots everywhere. And Mamata Banerjee had to resign. We're not talking about that. I mean,
can I just come in? Okay, Manojit, is this the only crime that has been politicized?
What is the CBI doing?
We just discussed that with Ranjana Kumari. My problem is that, TMC, this is the problem the TMC has. That it somehow feels that only crimes in Bengal are politicized. I am not interested in the politicization of the crime, but TMC is equally guilty in politicizing crimes in other states. So all of you are guilty. Every crime in other states are also politicized by TMC leaders themselves. So don't think that you are sitting on some moral high ground here.
No. Why on such issue? Why should that happen?
Why should that happen is the question the media asks. All the time.
Yes, we should continue to ask, and that's what the protesters are also saying.
Yeah, and the protesters are being rubbished as Rambam.
The principal issue is to look for the justice for this victim.
Let's face it, Sanjay Rana, is it not true that in the initial days, when the protests were first beginning to mount, there were statements from the TMC leaders and prominent spokespersons who were coming out and rubbishing them? I think until that point, they had not quite understood the power of these protests.
Shivani, absolutely you're right. If I remember, I was one of the debate and one of the spokesperson from from TMC made the statement, everything is done by VAM and RAM.
Yes.
So they were naming RAM and the VAM. look at the incidences happened. It's not a small thing. As soon as suppose look at the police charge sheet, they have mentioned that report happened at 10 a.m. But actually, some lecturer called to police station at 9:45 a.m. Look at the link between Sanjay Roy, who's a civil volunteer, and the Anup Datta, who's ASI. Look at the relation between the Sanjay Roy and the TMC MLA, Mr. Nirmal Ghosh. So a lot of nexus are there, and most surprisingly, if you look at Mamata Banerjee was doing agitation again, the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. Mamata Banerjee was doing agitation again, the Health Minister Mamata Banerjee, which was very surprising. The kind of statement which TMC and TMC workers and the TMC leaders and the spokesperson are doing on the TV debates, and they're making a statement on the public forum, which is very surprising. People are talking about it like a Nirbhaya case. I would say no, it's worse than the Nirbhaya case. At least in the Nirbhaya case, police government was supporting and they doing the investigation. Here, trying to shield someone. There is a huge difference between the two cases. The government, her chief minister, who's female, and she's trying to shelter some, sheltering someone, is trying to save someone, which is very surprising. And from last 10-15 days, incidents happen, and people are asking questions, and these are not the political people. There's a normal people.
Even right now, there's an attempt to somehow suggest that if it wasn't for the politics of it all, none of this would be happening in Bengal. And I've been saying this for the last 5 days, that please give credit where it's due. This protest is the doctors and students' protest. This is not a political protest.
Yes, I agree.
No political party can take credit for what has happened in Kolkata, in West Bengal, and the entire country. It is medical professionals who deserve the credit, not even the media. But Mr. Shashikant, I want to come to you before I go across to the ladies on the panel as well. Don't you think by now some heads should have rolled in the police hierarchy, given what has come to light? But nothing has happened, but for that one ACP being suspended?
Besides, I fully agree with you. But this time, not only a head, but heads should have rolled, which again shows that probably they have some political backing. You know, had it happened in any country, but it's happened a number of times that instead of finding a scapegoat, the real person, the head of the force, is always held responsible. He is the leader, good or bad. He has to face it. He has to succumb to his to give in. So I'm sure that the government should have taken action by now, and the Calcutta commissioner or the DGP or whatever it is, they should have been hauled up. I fully agree with you, ma'am.
Shatarupa, why is that not happening?
Look, I cannot say anything about the Trinamool government, which is still in denial. I told you, there is a major attempt to cover up. As far as your other part of the show is concerned about the public and the politicizing of the thing, Professor Mondal spent about some 25 seconds speaking about Shubhendu Adhikari. You know, right now, even as BJP spokesperson, I will say, we are a minuscule as far as the people are concerned, the people's opinion is concerned. Yes, we are in the opposition. We have been given the mandate of the people to go and oppose. We are not opposing for the sake of opposing. We are raising issues which are raised by the people at large. Shivani, the number of people, the kind of people cutting across political lines, gender, occupation, professions. They're not only in Kolkata, mind you. It's everywhere. West Bengal, different states of India, outside the country. Whether it's West Coast of America, New Jersey, California, United Kingdom, everywhere, everybody's asking, resign Mamata, because she's the one who has been for a continuous period of 13 years. Together, she has held some 6 ministries, of which, of course, health and police, and now she's the chief minister.
Manoji, there comes a time when you must see the writing on the wall. Ranjanaji, I'm coming to you for the final word after that.
Let me respond to her. Brij Bhushan, how many days you kept him?
Please stop this.
Let him finish. Then otherwise it will get into this slugfest. Please let him finish.
The rapist of Bilkis Banu, you welcome them. The people who paraded those women in Manipur, didn't do anything. Did any head roll? Did your Prime Minister, Home Minister resign when Manipur was burning for the 6 months continuously? I mean, let us not talk about this. This will sound like whatever tree. The principal focus is the rape, which is a crime which is happening even every 50 minutes. This crime are happening. Even we are talking about that. That has to, and there has to be consensus on this. Politicians cutting across political lines should be given proper lesson of feminism by trained people. They do not know what to speak, how to speak. I am not singling out any political party. It happens even with the Prime Minister, who calls someone Shurpanakha inside the parliament. So this is a problem with Indian politicians, especially of the older generation. You have to acknowledge that. And we academics, or someone like Ranjana Madam, they should come in and teach them, train them how to talk, what is radical feminism, what is new idea, new woman, new India. That has to be there.
going to take
It's
the
something
class
that
here.
is endemic. You talk about sexism, it is there with even some women
Manojit,
politicians.
Manojit, you
even with some
don't you
women
think
politicians.
that, you know,
there
when
has
you
to be
when you
consensus on
forget the
that. There has
specifics,
to be some kind of rational, if needed, law on that. How
okay,
to
fair
speak,
enough,
how to talk.
Manojit, all of that is fine, but you know, I feel that when a political party starts saying, oh, don't look at the specifics, let's talk about the larger issue involved here, that in itself shows that they are uncomfortable talking about the specifics. Why should we not talk about the specifics of this case and what happened in the initial responses by the state police, the
I'll take
principal
that.
in charge, the party in charge? Why should we not talk about it? We have done it
I'll
in
take
all other cases. All the other cases you're talking about, the party concerned copped so much flack for days on end,
When that
and nobody
Nirbhaya
tried to
case
justify the crime.
You see, when Nirbhaya case happened 11 years ago, we had a remarkable law, new law. All of us know the law has changed, 355, 356. But has the crime stopped?
That's
The
not,
answer
that's a
is
separate
no.
social issue,
Because-
please. No, that's
yes,
exactly what I'm saying.
Because
the moment
of
we
the
try to
problem
do
with
this
men.
social conversation,
this is a
you are trying
gender-specific
to
crime.
escape
Try
from
and
the very
understand that.
particular
This is committed
responsibility.
by men, heinous, perverse men.
Manojit,
It has to
I
be
don't want to speak over
looked into
you.
that context
The
as
problem
well.
is exactly
It's a
this,
problem,
Ranjana
gender-specific
Kumari.
problem.
There are two problems, and we have all accepted that yes, there is a social problem here. Of course, these crimes don't happen in a vacuum. There is a social problem here, which is why governments are expected to come down like a ton of bricks when a crime like this happens with no malice and with no intention to cover up or to shield somebody. In this case, the problem and the anger has arisen because there was steps after steps that the doctors there at RG Kar could see that the police and administration are taking to cover up. They get out the car in which the doctor's body was being taken out late at night. Ranjana ji, I think your mic is muted.
Professor Mandal, you should accept the fact that the case had to be handed over to CBI, the fact that Supreme Court of India walked in and took the suo motu cognizance of this whole case, and the fact that, you know, doctors across the country were on the street. You know, all this proof enough to say that state government did not do what it was ought to do at that point of time. If immediate action was taken, if everything was done in the, you know, because it's such a crime which has really made everyone, you know, we all are shaken because of that. Not only at the, and about Nirbhaya, when you said, of course, state was against. Of course, 4 days we were at India Gate in that cold. We were all, you know, shot by the water cannons. We were all lathi charge thrown out. So I mean, state, that's the tragedy of this country. That we are, you know, particularly in this case, rape after rape after rape happens, and then criminals sit in the parliament with you, with your party, with every party. You know, all these criminals are sitting in parliament. They are, nothing is happening to them. Every spokesperson of political party comes and starts defending the party. I mean, what is there to defend a criminal? Here is a criminal who is criminal, or whatever is the situation which comes out after CBI's report. We are hoping CBI will come up with something convincing for the people. Otherwise, every doctor, you know, so many doctor friends of mine said, we will not do any more night duty. Do you know the consequence of this?
Right.
You know the consequence of such a serious rape and murder inside a hospital premises where she should have been the safest. I think it's important that we should accept that we are becoming totally insensitive as a nation against women, and we like to play politics so that everybody gets covered. All men, all male politicians get covered. All parties which have all these heinous criminals in them get covered, and start, running behind the state government, which has done. Isn't it national responsibility, state responsibility, everybody's responsibility? I think everybody responsible should have been suspended immediately.
Absolutely. The strongest message, I think, I could be wrong, and I could be, this could be not the whole 100% that is required, but the strongest message that can go is that when a crime comes to light, there will be no dilly-dallying. There will be thorough investigation, professionalism, and fast-track legal judicial process for conviction or otherwise. I think that's the only way we can really send a message to society that criminals will be facing the strictest, toughest action. Forget political parties and everything else. We're always going to have deviants in the society. The only way we can govern our society is that when it happens, there are no ifs and buts involved. I am extending a minute more. I'm absolutely out of time, but I'll give 30 seconds of that to Shatarupa and 30 seconds to Sanjay ji. Yes, ma'am, very quickly, Shatarupa.
Very quickly, I think one cannot rule out the possibility that this, unlike the Nirbhaya case, again, I'm not, downgrading any of the rapes, but this particular incident, one has to accept that this was not just a rape out of lust, somebody got jilted, so somebody else jumped on that person and raped. No, this was part of a huge, larger crime. I think when CBI takes over, and one, as a nation, we have to accept that the Supreme Court of India took cognizance on its own and got in a suo motu.
They've done so in other cases also that haven't reflected very well on the BJP either. So let me. I don't want to get into that, because then it becomes whataboutery of another level. But yes, Sanjay Rana, you wanted to come in. I have 30 seconds only.
Yes, absolutely. I was hearing very carefully to Manojit, but I think he's not there on the debate.
Is he still there, or has he left?
I think it's not there. And obviously, I look at the Vineet Goyal, who's the Commissioner of Police, Kolkata, the kind of statement which he had made. Number two, the investigation, the complete investigation should go in a proper manner. Why the people are so much in hurry? I'm talking about the TMC leader, I'm talking about the leaders, I'm talking about the chief minister, so much in hurry to make the statement. Nothing happened. And why were the police were waiting for parents to come and lodge a complaint? As per the law, Article 36 BNS, which is a new under Section 4. Anything is coming, any call is coming, then police has to log a complaint, which they did. So somewhere, somehow, this looks that police were trying to safeguard someone, and top of that, any political pressure were there on these people, on the police. That's why they're trying to shield
maybe sometimes you get away with it so many times, you think, okay, even if it's a petty nexus that we're trying to protect, we'll get away with it. And, I am under no circumstances trying to suggest that there is some wide nexus that goes up to some higher politicians here. But whatever was the tiny little nexus between the accused, Sanjay Roy, the principal, the ACP concerned, the police rank and file in that area, maybe till the politicians, the students' wing and the MLAs, what was the need to protect that petty nexus? You do that, and that becomes your instinct to do that, even in the face of such a heinous and horrendous crime that has come to light, when you think you can get away with it. And maybe that's the indictment of the law and order situation in West Bengal. I'll leave it at that. I do thank all of our guests for joining us. Coming up after a very short break, we'll get you more exclusive reports from Kyiv as Prime Minister Narendra Modi has made his historic visit to Ukraine. What did the Prime Minister say, and what's India's message? More of that coming up in just a bit.